Good morning, all. Thank you for having you here. And thank you for your free will to be here today. And today I want to present to you, if the PPT will help me and the PowerPoint will help me, and it is not helping me, the Treedefi.com. And the customer support from an IT point of view in a particular environment that is the cryptocurrency environment. And most of us, most of you probably are aware about cryptocurrency. And today I want to explore with you the issues we found in the environment and how we wanted to solve these kind of problems. My pleasure. I'm Giampaolo. I'm the CEO of the company. You can reach me in a lot of ways across socials. And John Peterson is my nickname on Telegram. So you can enter the Treedefi channels and reach me anytime, anywhere. And then after that, I reply to you, obviously, little by little. So the agenda today is created to give you a brief overview of what a cryptocurrency is and how cryptocurrencies are exchanged, because otherwise it would be very complex, very difficult to understand how to support people. You have to imagine that in your experience, probably the support procedure is made having a reference. So you are aware about the name, the email, or any other unique identifier of the user. In the cryptocurrency is not like this, especially in the field we are working in. I will explain to you how cryptocurrencies are exchanged, because cryptocurrencies is just something like a value, and they can be exchanged. How, in which kind of platform, and the differences between platform. Always you have to remember that cryptocurrencies are made with cryptography, but mainly for preserve the freedom of the person that is using. Cryptocurrency is not a process that needs someone in the middle. Cryptocurrency is peer-to-peer. So if I have to send to you money or a value, I send to you directly without any kind of intervention from third parties. I will not deep dive technologically into cryptocurrency because it's very complex, it's very long as a process, and our focus is just to make you aware about the way we solved the problem of the support. Then I will explain to you what is Treedefi.com, and then we'll enter in our customer support. We are trying to develop and by which we want to help our customers, our users across the world. So let's start. What is a cryptocurrency? In a brief, cryptocurrency is just a mix between technology and finance. So we are, our way of exchange value started with coins, gold, then moved to paper. And right now we have technological instruments with telecommunications by which my credit can be transferred from someone other through a network that implies a bank or a payment system. So there's always someone in the middle. Cryptocurrency is a new social technology. Probably is not for our generation, it's for the future generations. And let's imagine if you want to transfer 10 euros, 10 Swiss francs to a Japan guy, to a Japan friend, how you can do this one? It's pretty impossible, because the costs associated with the transactions are huge because there are intermediaries. So cryptocurrency solves this, especially Bitcoin, that the first cryptocurrency invented and developed them and architected them with a lot of mathematics and cryptography inside. And with this vector, we can transfer instantly a value from one point of the world to another one without any kind of intervention of a third party. And this is very important because this kind of technology, like other technology, like internet in the 90s, started in the underground. And then little by little, growing that generation, that kind of technology become a standard and started to be widely used across the world. So we think the people that, like me, believes in cryptocurrency, believe in the technology, think that probably next generation will use this kind of technology every day. And due to the fact that people wants to interact in the world of cryptocurrency among other socials like Twitter or Facebook or Instagram that are more advertising-based socials for communicating, we're using two of them, Telegram and Discord. I don't enter in Telegram and Discord matters, but I think that any one of you is aware about Telegram or Discord. Probably not only is aware about Discord. Discord is something like once there was IRC. That was our initial way of communicating in a centralized server. So I was entering in a room and I started to talk. Discord is just the evolution of this kind of software. So I can enter a server, and in the server we find many rooms. Every room can be organized, configured to talk a specific theme or specific matter, and I can interact with people. So cryptocurrency, for summarizing, is just technology for transfer of value with an underground and starting to growing up environment from a social and cultural point of view. And the instruments we use among Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are Telegram and Discord. So my user, Treedefi users, our users are using Telegram and Discord right now, in this moment, across the world, immediately. But let's say I want to, I'm coming, for explaining what is an exchange, there's an analogy that is very simple. Let's imagine we come back to the 80s, okay? And we are coming from Italy to New York. You have lira in your pocket, okay? And you don't have a euro. And you arrive in New York, and for spending your money, you need dollars. What do? You go to the exchange, that kind of desk. You say, I have here 100,000 lire, and I want to give back some dollars. Yes, and then they make an exchange. So they take your coin in that value, and they give you back a transformation of that coin with the local coin. So the exchange is doing just this one. I take your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your Ripple, your any kind of token or coin that is developed and that is running and that people recognize, and I change as an infrastructure this kind of making this kind of transaction. So there are two kinds of exchange. The first one is a centralized exchange. So anyone, like a star, will put the money or the token in a common account. Then, from that common account, I will use the technology of that kind of institution to ask to someone other to make a transformation or a change. I give you something, you give me back some other or the change. But as you can see, the process in itself is taking money and putting in a common account. So this is a centralization process. The cryptocurrency relies on a lot of technologies, developed another concept that is the decentralized exchange. What the decentralized exchange? A decentralized exchange means that I will not put my value, my tokens in a common account, but I will give you the possibility from my wallet to your wallet through a notarization software called smart contract to exchange using the mathematics. So I will never put money in a common place. This is not centralized, this is decentralized. And due it is decentralized, I don't have the need to give you my name, my surname, my email, or any other form of identification. In the centralized exchange, you have to do a lot of identification and called Know Your Customer procedure inside a framework called anti-money laundering scheme. So giving this giving to you this kind of information, let's go ahead. In the centralized exchange, I can change Bitcoin versus Ethereum, that is crypto versus crypto. Or I can exchange Bitcoin versus Swiss franc, or versus euros, or versus dollars. Or I don't know, this moment is going, it's very useful for Russians. I can change Bitcoin for rubles. And then I can use this kind of value with a financial instrument called, in this case, derivatives. So I can mix the financial instruments with the, let's say, in an improper way, economical instruments. So I can use the money, change the money, and then bet on that kind of money. So the centralized exchange has an account on which I put Bitcoin, in example, and I throw out euros or Swiss francs or any other fiat value. Fiat is the common name for the value used across countries. So euro is a fiat money. Dollar is a fiat money. So abstracting, fiat concerns all the money we use in the world. In a decentralized exchange, we are not using fiat money, we are just exchanging crypto. The phenomenon of cryptocurrencies is not so huge at the moment, but as you can see, this data is coming from 2019, from, thank you, ChatGPT. And you can see that, in example, only the derivative market for in 2019 is the 17 trillion, and you can check that the whole cryptocurrency market is 68 billion. So you can check that the value is completely different, the size is completely different, and the magnitude is completely different. But there are a lot of differences, okay? So an example, for what concerns not only the derivative market, but also the centralized exchange, you have regulation. If you want to open an exchange in the airport, or if you want to open an exchange of cryptocurrencies, you need a license, because you are managing euros, fiat, dollars, and fiat money. If you want to open a decentralized exchange, there's no regulation at all, completely. So if you're able to manage token, you can exchange token across the world in the same moment with 1,000 people, and you can allow them to exchange value without, as I said before, any kind of third-party intervention. So, but let's enter for arriving to the concept of managing user and support. Look at the differences. A centralized exchange needs a know your customer procedure, identification document, proof of address. So you have to send them your invoices from electricity bill and so on. Email, because they want to understand. Two-factor authentication with SMS, so they are aware about your telephone number. GDPR must be compiled and must be recognized because they are using personal data. And your wallet. So they are completely aware about which is your total amount of money you want to exchange, okay? Because do you remember, if you remember, we said that in a centralized exchange, I put the money in a common account. In this decentralized exchange, as you can see, we know just the wallet. That a wallet is a string, alphanumerical string, nothing else. So from our point of view, how we can manage people that on our platform have problems just knowing an alphanumeric string? It's very complex, because if you go here, you have your support and ticketing section, you enter your email, you enter your password, you're being recognized by the system, and then you can write down your ticket, and someone in the chat can tell you, okay, write me this one and this one and this one, I will reply. But we are not aware about this one. So how about the identification of the customer? So how we can solve this? Well, okay. Before saying how we can solve this, I want to tell you briefly what Treedefi is doing. We are a decentralized exchange, obviously, with some centralized exchange services. So what we do? We simply, between brackets, created a token, so something like as nominally an intrinsic value from an economical point of view. And this token is used for allowing people to exchange and work with derivatives in the financial market with the base of agricultural system. I give you just an example. Let's imagine that I have a production of Pachino tomatoes, okay? And these famous Pachino tomatoes in Italy, there's a lot of stuff of these. But all across the world, there's a lot of products. You know that there's in the financial market, there's an important market defined soft commodities. Soft commodities are, an example, soy, cereals, and farming activities like meat, like fish, and so on. But for using this kind of instrument, it's very difficult from a farmer point of view, because you need a lot of culture, a lot of knowledge, but especially you need a huge quantity of money. So these instruments are really high-end. We just trying, and we will success on this, for lowering this kind of high-end instruments to normal farmers. So coming back to example, if I had a production of Pachino, I can use the COT, the COT token, for selling the whole production in advance. So as a farmer, I'm taking money in advance and my production will be, between brackets, safe. Then what happens? This production can be split into pieces that are represented from a famous acronym that right now everybody is aware of, called NFT. So an NFT will be the representation of a portion of what the farmer is developing, is producing. And people can exchange this NFT, betting, between brackets, or in financial terms, shorting or going long, concerning the price of this product. And so they can exchange. At the end of the time frame of the production, the farmer will deliver product. And so someone can during the time frame will have the opportunity to buy less the price of the product, or buy the product higher, depending the exchange. Okay, it's like it's a absolutely common way of exchanging products and trying to maintain the price of the products good for the market. Okay, that's what we do in Treedefi. That is pretty complicated from a financial point of view, derivatives. So we have our users. And you see that if you go in a normal, standard way, you use email and ticketing. Email and ticketing is an asynchronous instrument, and you need your username, mail, and telephone number. It is not a real-time process, but you can send information and retrieve information. Telegram and Discord are not asynchronous, are synchronous because are chat. So you just write down information and someone can reply to you. And you need just one reference, your username, full stop. And the process, it is in real time. So how we solved this kind of problem? We created a bot inside Telegram and inside Discord using APIs, open APIs. And these APIs are tightly connected into our CRM. Let's call it CRM, but it's not probably a CRM, it's just a ticketing infrastructure. So the users of this kind of market are really familiar with using the Telegram bot. So how we developed this one? Just a second, I have to move this window. Okay, the user enters the bot and just say, okay, let's start. We created a special word, special commands that through APIs are connected to our backend. And then the user can write ticket open. Ticket open means, okay, I want to open a ticket to someone. Remember always that we are not aware about who is using this kind of information. We just have the username. And the username in the Telegram world, as well as the Discord world, has a unique identifier. So we just rely on that identifier. The user starts the conversation with the bot. The ticket is opened and the ticket receives back an ID. That is, in this case, is very simple because it's the year, month, day, time string. Okay, because that kind of ID is tightly linked with the user ID. That is a Telegram internal data you can retrieve with APIs. So once once the system is giving you the ticket ID, you just write your need. Okay, I need to redeem my code from the transaction. This transaction is real, not from code, but from Ethereum. I need to retrieve my COT. I don't know how much of you worked with Linux, I'm sorry, with Unix, but in Unix there was a software called VI, Visual Editor. And for closing a file in VI, you just had to use semicolons and WQ exclamation point. So this is the way we close the ticket. So write and quit, and the ticket is taken into consideration and receives the status of opened. So the user has opened the ticket. Also at this point, it seems very simple to do, but consider that we are not aware always about who's the user. We are just aware about the fact that someone that created a economical and financial transaction that is represented by that string has a problem. Full stop. We are not aware about anything other. So once the ticket is open, and the PPT will help me, the user is starting the timing for analyzing, and then the user can have multiple tickets. Sometimes can happen that a transaction is stalled, or a transaction is blocked for certain reasons. So always the user enters the platform, will start and ask for the ticket list. That is another command we just developed inside the bot. Developing the Telegram bot is more or less simple. Our due was integrate the Telegram bot with the APIs of the backend system for managing the ticket. So once the user is performing the ticket list, it will check the whole the whole ticket list with the status of the ticket. Simply asking for the status of the ticket. Consider that this is done through the phone interface, so copy paste is very simple. Once you ask for the ticket status, not only the user will see the information that he made inside the ticket, that is expressed with the inside arrow, and the reply from our team. TX ID is correctly accepted. Redeem is possible. So the request was made, and the user is replying. So once the ticket is resolved, we can say that the ticket is closed. So anyone can close the ticket, but we at this moment we just do this one with the backend. In this way, we resolved the problem. We communicated with the user without knowing any name, any surname, any email, any telephone number, in a pretty secure way, because the communication inside Telegram is completely encrypted. So I know that there's a lot of information, especially for them who are not so familiar with cryptocurrencies, and I'm open to receive any kind of question, also the bad questions that are, from my point of view, are always good, because it allows me to explain better what we do and how we solve stuff. So any kind of question, I'm open, also from internet, from people on the internet. I apologize, I have not said hello to every one of you, sorry. And please be open, ask without any kind of problem, any kind of question, no limit.
I want to back the ice with the first question. So we know exactly we are in the first situation. In as this situation, blockchain is a innovative technology, but what will be, in a service management point of view, the to-be status in blockchain era?
Okay, this seems like a consulting a consulting process, and I will do with a lot of pleasure. I will do with a lot of pleasure. So, by my point of view, I think that inside blockchain and using smart contracts, in example, coming from my expertise from IT world, I started as a IT developer, system administrator. I teach Unix for a lot of time for a company called the Sun Microsystem, and then I worked with security. So my knowledge about information technology, I think that is pretty good. I can say that the first instance would be for sure the service level agreement. So if you have a service level agreement on which you have a very difficult or very delicate relation with your customers, or inside team for be aware about, be very aware about how the mechanism is working, and how the service is working, smart contract will be absolutely perfect. Let's make an example. I have a database that is logging, and while database is logging, database is putting out some informations. If some informations reach a certain level, that level will be will have a communication with the service level agreement smart contract. The smart contract that is not manageable by third parties. Once the smart contract is deployed in the network, once the software of the smart contract started, cannot be modified. So the contract will be that one. And in this case, if the database will trigger some debugging or problems, that kind of word can be taken and then can be matched on the how many times this word can go outside from this database, because you can imagine that that certain number of word of the number of time that word will arise means that probably the database is down or is going slower or something like this. So I can take this kind of information, matching with the number that is inside the smart contract, and then the smart contract will say to the management or the team, okay, we are out of the SLA completely, and there's no way of modify this kind of attitude of behavior of the software. And also you can put on that smart contract money. So if, for example, you are a company that is managing SLA as a business, you can use an internal money for exchanging value if a problem arises or if a problem is not resolved in the time frame that in the smart contract is defined, as well as the contract you make between companies. So I think that in the service management, the smart contract will be a very important features to put focus on.
Thank you.
First, ladies first,
Yeah.
always. Please.
Can you exchange something that is fully intangible and not based on standards?
Yes.
Something that is not a standard process value or.
Yes, you can. Absolutely, because you have to consider that also money in itself is based on a definition or on an agreement that is made with I want to use a strange word, but it's I think that it's good and it's good in itself. It's just made from an oligarchy. So you have governance, they decide that that kind of value must represent the human actions for exchange. The energy dispersion is made for making a work. So I work, I disperse my energy, and then I have back something I can exchange with someone else. So this is also this kind of paradigm used also in the cryptocurrency. It is not my point of view that creates value on a token or a representation of a money, let's say in this way, but it's the community common sense that agrees that that kind of token has a value. So in example, I can create from the nothing a token from nothing, just with a bunch of line of codes, and then I can have tons of people that say, oh, I like this kind of token, and I will give you $1 for every token you give to me. So I created value from nothing. And this is a problem because you can, or I can say, in not the right hands, this leads to a lot of scams, a lot of problems, and people that lost the money in a very bad way. So one of the techniques we have here in this room, there are 3 guys. They are called the scam. And they despite the name that is an acronym, they are creating a format so that they can teach people to understand how a scam is made. Because you don't, due to the fact that you don't have a third party that controls like a bank, and so we have seen that this control is not so tight, not so tight. Just we can. I will not mention. I'll be politically correct. Also burns for everyone, especially here right now. And but they want to that it's a very important thing in the market in this moment to teach people how to understand, because there are a very huge indicators, but you can have a very huge light in front of your eyes, but if you are not able to understand that light, that there's a red light, probably you will cross the cross without any kind of responsibility, and the problem can be very high. But the point is this one: you can create between brackets value from nothing, like the money we use every day. But I have to say, from a cultural point of view, that despite I believe in cryptocurrencies, I cannot forget the hundreds of years used for creating this kind of financial infrastructure. So we can, I don't like to have a lack of respect of this kind of history. I don't like it at all. I respect this one. I think that a lot of people in the cryptocurrency world respect the cultural process needed for reaching this point. But at the same time, we need that, we think that it's possible to change, to improve, to increase the freedom of everyone to exchange without a third party, especially when the mathematics sometimes, probably very often, works better than the feelings of a human being.
Okay. Thanks, Giampaolo.
Thanks to you too. Have a nice day. Bye bye.